Tell me the inflection point that happened after you launched, right? As you said, 500 aa raha hai, bik raha hai, very quick rotation. But what was the next inflection point where you realized ki, oh, the game could be significantly larger now, and some of the revenue predictions that I'm seeing or projections that I'm seeing online right now makes me think that this is going to be a very large game. What was the inflection point where you realized कि ये जो accessories का business है उससे 10x 100x हो सकता है?
Siddharth, so first of all, I'll tell you, when we started Gaurav, when we started for the first time, we wrote it. I don't have that diary now, so we wrote it that we will do first year 25 lakhs of a business, and if 3 years we are able to build a 5 crore or 2 crore company, we'll be happy. So that's how we used to plan.
I will interject. Accessories का business कितना बड़ा था उस time पे? Because that is also an anchor कि उतना तो करना है, right?
नहीं, तो we were at 24. I think we did a top line of 24 crores of sales, and by the way, in that business, we were the largest player in the country on marketplaces.
Marketplace आपने टेस्ट कर ली थी कि marketplace को क्रैक करने के लिए क्या करना पड़ेगा, which is why noise पे उतना फोकस नहीं किया marketplace पे.
हाँ, वो दोनों कर रहे थे, हम पैरेलली बिल्ड कर रहे थे कि देन वी रियलाइज कि नॉइस को किस पे पुश करना है, मार्केटप्लेस को किस पे पुश करना है. तो नॉइस वी यूज टू पुश फॉर मोर products which are great value, which are little higher ASP. Markets were more little ki are high volumes, lesser ASP. So we tried to find a balance both. So when you look at inflection point here, we started thinking ki, I'll tell you, I remember we used to ship maybe 10,000 odd units in a day at a ASP of 300 or something, whatever calculation was there, or 3,000 products in a day and a 300 ASP. Then we realized कि यार ये बढ़ाने के लिए 3,000 को 10,000 ले जाना पड़ेगा, एंड लुक एट द हैसल वी हैड टू डू. वी रियलाइज कि हाउ डू वी फ्लिप इट. सो देन वी स्टार्ट थिंकिंग कि यार वो 3,000 रुपये का ASP बनाते हैं और 300 शिप करेंगे. That's how the entire transformation happened. That's how we'll grow the business. And again, similarly, the first year we tested a lot of categories. It doesn't mean that we got the success on day one. We are into smart wearable business we did it for first 2 years, maybe where the quantities were very less for 2 years. But we were testing it, karte hain, and then when an inflection point came in, that the market exploded. People started wanting a smartwatch, a truly wireless earphone. And then we realized कि ये 300 से 3,000 पहुंच गया है per day unit shipping.
Do you think not raising capital also gave you that room of testing for 2 years without saying कि इतना growth करना ही पड़ेगा, next round उठाना है तो ये करना ही पड़ेगा? Take your own time, really understand the market, really understand the price points, really understand the product before you go big on, and wait for the market to say कि I am ready for this, right? As you said, वो inflection point भी 18-19 में जब सबको smartwatch चाहिए था. Apple Watch had come in, Galaxy had come in. Do you think that played a role, or do you think it would have been same even if you went out and raised capital?
Yeah, I personally think that when you raise capital, so a lot of decisions you make are little short term. I mean, then you are just running for sales, but you are looking for growth. Actually, they always talk about growth, top line. Then that time it was a GMV time. Nobody used to talk about profit. We were very clear that boss, growth has to be sustainable. The profit has to be at minimal so that we can run the business. So I don't think it would have been same for us, to be honest. Maybe we would have been into 10 more categories doing each and everything. And maybe shed spray and pray would have been there with us. So it helped us in setting our DNA right.
Interesting. Product SKU के बारे में बताओ. How do you decide कि कितने product SKU, especially initial point पे जब revenue, जब constrained on the capital that you can invest. You spoke about inventory 15 days. Product SKU पे कुछ thought process था कि इतने product SKU रख के ही बेचेंगे या?
So we had I'll explain you more. We had a share of learnings also. So we used to do mobile covers, as you know. And mobile covers were all customized actually. Which means it was not same case. It was a printed mobile covers we were leading the market. So, and mobile covers had a life cycle of 3 months. Mobile phones. You buy mobile cover when you are buying a mobile actually. Or 4 महीने बाद or 5 महीने बाद that mobile goes out of the market. Because let's say Xiaomi buyers were the main consumers, OnePlus were the main consumers. So 6 महीने बाद model change आता था. So you won't believe, Siddharth, we had huge stocks piled up in our warehouse because whatever used to come back, we couldn't sell it. And you won't believe, we sold all these stocks at maybe we had to pay monies to, the kabadi to dispose it off because that was plastic. So that's when we realized that instead of hundreds of SKUs, we will go for 1-2 each category. So when we launched Truly Wireless, we had two models. Watches, we just had 2 models. We realized that inventory का नहीं करेंगे काम. But we never wanted to go 200 models. We were very clear. So
Hmm.
we learned with our mistakes. It didn't came in inherently in us. We learned.
Yeah. Yeah. मैं often times जब entrepreneur से बात करता हूँ, one of the things that I've realized is more often than not the game is to survive, right? The game is to stay in the game somehow, not bust out. And if you can do it for a long period of time, you get these learnings and you eventually crack that model, right? For if not for two things. One, obviously, bootstrap to the capital constraints, but if not for the accessories business, it would have been very tempting to say कि यार 4 या 5 वॉच तो लॉन्च करनी पड़ेंगी, अलग अलग कलर में करनी पड़ेंगी, अलग अलग डिजाइन करनी पड़ेगी, especially and same with headphones. It's not like when you entered headphones, there were a bunch of different brands that were out there with thousands of SKUs, hundreds of SKUs, right? If not for that learning, I would think you would have gone down the same path also.
I mean, so when we wanted to do audio, so we never entered with Wired. Wired is the biggest market that time. We thought कि Wired में there are bigger players already there in the market who would buy noise. Or you reduce the price. We went to marketplace. They said, okay, वो 400 का बिकता है, 350 में दे दो, हम बेच देंगे. We realized कि यार this is race to the bottom because you can't at that scale you can't have efficiencies also like bigger brands. They are buying in lakhs. You are buying 5,000. So we were clear कि वो 5,000 खरीदना है तो you have to sell expensive. So you have to sell expensive, then there has to be differentiation. So we came up with Truly Wireless, which nobody was doing. So I mean, it helped us to innovate. So you won't believe we launched first Truly Wireless in the country. We launched first lightest Truly Wireless. So our watches is also best in class. किसी में कोई ना कोई you will find a differentiation where consumers are willing to pay us or prefer us than other brands.
Throughout the conversation, one of the things that has stood out is two things have stood out. One, customer को क्या चाहिए और प्रोडक्ट डिफरेंशिएशन होना चाहिए, राइट? अगर सेम प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च कर रहे हो तो रेस टू बॉटम है. यू वुड हैव फिगर्ड दैट आउट, विद द Amazon गेम, विद द एक्सेसरीज. एंड द कस्टमर को क्या चाहिए, डोंट अज्यूम कि ये होना चाहिए, डोंट अज्यूम कि मुझे ये बेचना है या मुझे दुनिया में क्रिएट करना है. उनको क्या चाहिए वो समझो एंड जस्ट गो बिल्ड दैट, right? I think those are key pillars on how noise has been built very efficiently.
Customer product,
Very
two things. I believe it's just not noise. Any brand who has to build two pillars are the strongest. So I was reading this interesting book called Purple Cow. If you get a chance, go through that. So it talks about, so it was like आपने सुबह भी newspaper पढ़ा होगा. So how many ads do you recall? So it's like a cow which you recall that purple cow in the entire thing. कि यार ये differentiated है, I remember her. Otherwise, normal nobody realizes it.
Interesting.
That was a good turning point for me when I saw that. I realized कि differentiation ही is the key for us at least.